June 26, 2024. Wednesday of the 12th week in Ordinary Time. A reading from the second book of Kings. In those days, Hilkiah the high priest said to Shaphan the secretary, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and he read it. And Shaphan the secretary came to the king, and reported to the king, Your servants have emptied out the money that was found in the house and have delivered it into the hand of the workmen who have the oversight of the house of the Lord. Then Shaphan the secretary told the king, Hilkiah the priest has given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. When the king heard the words of the book of the law, he tore his clothes. And the king commanded Hilkiah the priest, and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Akbar the son of Micaiah, and Shaphan the secretary, and Asaiah the king's servant, saying, Go, inquire of the Lord for me, and for the people, and for all Judah, concerning the words of this book that has been found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is kindled against us, because our fathers have not obeyed the words of this book, to do according to all that is written concerning us. Then the king sent, and all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem were gathered to him. And the king went up to the house of the Lord, and with him all the men of Judah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem and the priests and the prophets, all the people, both small and great. And he read in their hearing all the words of the book of the covenant that had been found in the house of the Lord. And the king stood by the pillar and made a covenant before the Lord, to walk after the Lord and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all his heart and all his soul, to perform the words of this covenant that were written in this book. And all the people joined in the covenant. The word of the Lord. Responsorial Psalm Response, Lord, teach me the way of your statutes. Lord, teach me the way of your statutes. And I will keep them to the end. Lord, teach me the way of your statutes. Grant me insight that I may keep your law, and observe it wholeheartedly. Lord, teach me the way of your statutes. Guide me in the path of your commands, for in them is my delight. Lord, teach me the way of your statutes. Bend my heart to your decrees, and not to wrongful gain. Lord, teach me the way of your statutes. Turn my eyes from gazing on vanities. In your way, give me life. Lord, teach me the way of your statutes. See, I long for your precepts. Give me life by your justice. Lord, teach me the way of your statutes. Alleluia, Alleluia. Abide in me, and I in you, says the Lord, he who abides in me bears much fruit. Alleluia, Alleluia. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew. At that time, Jesus said to his disciples, Beware of false prophets, who come to you in sheep's clothing but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will recognize them by their fruits. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes, or figs from thorn bushes? So, every healthy tree bears good fruit, but the diseased tree bears bad fruit. A healthy tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a diseased tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus you will recognize them by their fruits. The Gospel of the Lord. Reflection, Wednesday, 12th week in Ordinary Time. In today's Gospel reading, Jesus draws attention to the separation there can often be between appearance and reality. Just as there can be more to some people than meets the eye, so there can be less to some people than meets the eye. It is that second situation that Jesus highlights in the Gospel reading. He speaks of those who look like harmless sheep but underneath are ravenous wolves. Projecting a false image, living a lie, is an ongoing part of the human experience. Where our hearts lie does not always correspond to how we appear. Jesus declares that the real test of what is in our hearts is the kind of fruit that our lives bear. You will be able to tell them by their fruits. St. Paul used that same language of fruit when he wrote about the fruit of the Spirit, which he describes as love, joy, peace, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Paul doesn't speak of fruits but of fruit. There is one fruit of the Spirit which can be described in all these different ways. If our lives bear that kind of good fruit, our heart belongs to God, regardless of how we may appear at times. We need to keep opening our hearts to the Spirit whom we have been given, so that the good fruit of the Spirit will be more abundant in our lives.